Hi, I am Christina Chartrand. I'm Senior Vice President of Training and Staff Development for Senior Helpers, and I am so excited today to have Teepa Snow, who is, I always say, a legend and a guru in the Alzheimer's dementia care space. Certainly my mentor in the space as well. We're so glad to have you today.
I'm glad to be here, and I would say I've been around a long time. Made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot of things. So I am a huge fan of helping people live well with dementia and helping people in the lives of people living with dementia recognize their role in making a difference. Because it's huge. I mean, we have our environments, we have how we spend time, but we're a huge piece of the puzzle. And so today, I think we're talking about something that people tend to not think that much about, but it's really vitally important that we think about what's our brain like. And when our brain is in a good place, what can we do? And when our brain is not in such a good place, what happens? And when I say not in such a good place, it isn't super flexible and super able to be in the moment, live in the moment, plan ahead, follow someone else's lead, and yet know how to get where you want to go, and not have to do it directly. So,
Good.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, so I know we have quite a few folks on, some who are probably doing direct care, but some who might be family members, friends, might be providers of various and sundry sorts, or might just be curious individuals. Because I know there's lots of possibilities when we talk about, well, what does our own brain state do? And when we talk about brain state, we talk about gem state. Because we're trying to find words that people cannot be scared of. So if I said, Christine, I mean, I hate to say this, Christina, but you are profoundly demented.
What?
I mean, you didn't used to be, but now you are. You've really lost almost everything.
You know, I don't think so.
Well, I think so, yeah. And of course, she wouldn't be able to talk to me like that if she were at that place in the condition. But what it would mean is I'm looking at her as less rather than just different. And so one of our statements would be, wow, she's in a pearl state, which would mean she's going to have a hard time taking in data and getting data out, which would mean, wow, okay, as a provider, what do I need to do? And it's easy to look, sometimes we'll talk more about this, but it's easy to look and see that Christina, the person living with dementia, has different brain abilities at different times, and certainly over time has changed and now has very few options available to her. But sometimes we don't recognize our own brain changes, and that we go through all of these brain changes, frankly, every day. And if you don't, you'll be dead before too long. Because you really do need to get into pearl state every day. And we'll talk more about what that means, but the basic is when you are in pearl state, it's like you're asleep and you're healing and you're recovering and you're getting what your brain needs and your body needs, not being active in the world. And we all know that sleep problems lead to life problems.
Yeah.
And when we don't get enough sleep, what happens to the days for us?
Well, our personality many times just changes. We can't stay organized, can't stay on task. We get snappy at people because we're not, we can't stay focused.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't find words, you can't process, you can't tolerate things. And actually, if you keep doing it over and over and over again, going without sleep, not getting enough sleep, it actually is a risk factor for developing depression, anxiety, and even dementia. It can affect heart function, it can affect digestion, it can affect thinking, it can affect processing of data, and your ability to even retain information. So it's essential that we actually get enough sleep. And so we'll be talking that as part of this process of looking at what happens in our brains. So what happens when we're in an interaction with a person living with dementia. And we tend to think about, oh yeah, no, they have brain changes. And I'm here to tell you we all do. And we'll get a chance to try that out in just a couple minutes here. So I'm going to go ahead and share a PowerPoint because I did put one together and it will be available afterward. Though those of you who know me well, Christina, what can you tell people about me in PowerPoints?
I shouldn't follow them at all. So she's going to be skipping around and going from one to the other, and she may even have a PowerPoint up for like for 5-10 minutes and doesn't even refer to it.
Could be. So what's I'm just saying, So what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to show you a picture. And so this is a PowerPoint, that slide that I do find helpful. So what I'm going to have us look at, this happens to, oops, well, I didn't mean to do that. I found out something. Ooh, how exciting. If I click the space bar by accident, it switches back to us. Look at that. If I do this,
I didn't know that.
Oh, no, that didn't work at all. Well, now that's interesting. It worked the first time. Huh. What did you do to my slides?
Swear.
Christina? Christina.
No, I know you're mad at me.
Well, because you messed with my slides. I had it working and now it won't work.
I don't even know. I didn't touch anything.
No, don't tell me you don't know what happened. You have to know what happened. You're the one who set all this up. Huh?
You touched the bar thing.
What bar thing?
The bar thing.
Now you might ask which of us has dementia in this moment.
Right.
Which in that moment, I gave Christina that something wasn't working the way I expect it to work. So this is for someone who might actually be in really high function. And the reason a helper might be with me is because I'm not safe driving anymore. I might actually get myself in trouble with people calling on the phone and trying to sell me stuff or trying to get me to do things. I might need somebody around because when I want something, I want it. And I don't have any tolerance for waiting. And my daughter, unfortunately, works. So having said those things about me, what do you now, Christina, as you're now going to be working with me and being with me, what do you recognize that's important? When your brain is working well, when your brain is working
well.
What do you notice?
Well, I know that, you need to have somebody available around when you're asking for something, that you're not going to want to wait, that you're not going to have any patience at all when it comes to it. And you're going to get upset with me if it doesn't happen.
So, and what else do you know? Am I somebody who accepts, oh gosh, I must have made a mistake?
No, because you are right. You are only right. And I'm wrong constantly. I know that you think you are absolutely right, even if I know that you're wrong.
But what you hear Christina doing, interestingly enough, is sort of being very clear that the actual problem is me, not her. But if I don't know it's me, well, fine, then she'll have to assume responsibility for it. But it's a little irritating to be around me because you actually didn't do anything. I was the one that pushed a button and then couldn't figure out what actually happened. And I thought I figured it out and it was wrong. And I can't really problem solve like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm the client. The challenge is Christina, who might not have expected that because it was like, oh, look what I can do. And then all of a sudden it didn't work. Her brain got jerked really quick. She had a real fast surprise of like, well, now it's not working. And she's like, well, she got caught with her feet flat. And the thing about being in a state that's going to work the best is you got to be super able to like flex in a moment and go, oh, it's not working. Well, the crap, it was working before it's not working. I don't know that I touched anything. I just, wonder what happened there, because that's weird how that happened. You had it. It was so right. And then, it just like that, it changed. Christina, you couldn't quite do that fast.
Well, I think so. This is the problem, at least how I feel when these things happen, is that you automatically get defensive and reactive right away versus going, oh, no, wait a minute. I need to slow down. I need to understand where she is, where you are at that moment, and be more and be with you right there versus trying to try to solve. So me, I'm trying to solve the problem.
I didn't even, you even hold the evidence. I'm like, I didn't even tap me. You're the one that had the keyboard. I mean, and without intending to, your brain is in the same place my brain is, but not in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling that same tension, that same resistance to admitting something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And what's wrong is different for you than what's wrong for me. I
Right.
have brain failure.
Right.
And you have brain chemistry shift, and your brain just did a shift on you that you didn't even know it was going to do it. And you didn't intend for it to happen. And so I want to go back now to the slides if I can get there without having a problem. Because Christina was really okay. She got the idea, but it's already setting her up for the day in not a great way.
Mm-hmm.
Because now what happens the next time I try to do something? What happens in your brain? Like, what are you already?
Oh, here she goes again. She's going to mess
Here it
up.
goes again. Yeah, so it's called anticipatory distress. And it turns out when we live with someone who reacts quickly, strongly, and powerfully and outwardly, it really puts us in a space where we anticipate the distress. And we anticipate it, but not in a healthy way again. So
No.
she's already going, uh-oh, I know she's going to go off again. Hope she doesn't go off again. But that preset makes it harder for her brain to respond to my distress in a effective way. And instead, we
Almost like
repeat
she had anxiety going into it, going, no, this is going to happen.
Yeah, so you get anxious, and when you get anxious, stuff happens to your brain. So let me show you the kind of stuff that actually is happening, because it is important that we sort of notice what it is that is going on. Now, you're seeing right now on the slide 2 brains, yes?
Yes.
And they are, it says at the bottom, there's a 20-year-old and an 80-year-old. Both of them have absolutely healthy, normal brains. But what's going on in these brains is the people are just lying in the machine. They're not doing anything, except their brains continue to burn fuel. Even when you're at rest, your brain burns fuel. Now, some parts of your brain are more active than others, even though you're just lying still. And I'm going to go over what's going on here, because it turns out our brain function is highly variable throughout a day. And there's a lot of chemistry, and then there's some structural changes. And for us who are in a care mode, most of the changes we experience are chemical. And the good news is there are ways to repurpose and refocus chemicals so we can get back in control. The bad news is sometimes we get sent on these wild goose chases by our brain and our body, and it sets us up to repeat, repeat, repeat in an unhealthy way. So if you were to take your fingers and put it right above your eyebrows and go at a diagonal through your temples along the sides to the back of your brain, and if you did that and you had a thin slice, this would be the front of your brain, your thinking part.
Okay.
This area and this area would be your temporal lobes right here, right above your jaw and right above your ears. Those areas are for auditory processing. And these areas along the side is called sensory motor. That's where the wiring goes from your body to your brain and your brain to your body. And because you're just lying there, a lot going on. Oh, by the way, red means high level of chemical activity, and the chemical is glucose metabolism, sugar metabolism by your brain. And where you see red, high level, yellow's pretty decent level, green, low level, and the dark blue areas are where you have holes in your brain. Those are called the ventricles, and that's where you have fluid that cleans your brain. All these areas are actually connected. Now, back here in the back, this is the occipital, the vision center of your brain. These little guys on the inside of your temporal lobes, these are your hippocampal areas where you learn and remember things. And these guys back here are called your amygdalae. They're the survival part of your brain. They're the part of the brain that is kept alive and active all the time, more active sometimes than other, to notice threats, to get your needs met, and to find pleasure in being alive. And then this area right here is the wiring that allows you to control blood pressure, blood sugar, heart rate, temperature regulation, wake-sleep cycling, the ability to react to pain, the ability to be hungry, thirsty, know when you need to void and empty and when you need to defecate. So all that's really sort of monitored by this wiring into the thalamic connections. So I'm going to pause there and have you look at these two pictures, a 20-year-old and an 80-year-old at rest. And now I'm going to come back and ask Christine, a lot of difference or not a lot of difference?
Not a lot of difference.
Huh. Interesting. Why do you think there are these red areas though? I mean, they're lying in the machine, nothing's happening the whole time. What do you think's going on there?
I'm not sure, Teepa.
Christine, you should know. You should know what's going on there. What happened? Why can't you think of that?
Please explain.
Yeah. So anytime, so when people do this to us, I mean, when just as a human, you're trying to help somebody else, but that person sort of jumps at you or barks at you or acts at you like you should know something you don't know. You should do something you're not doing.
Yeah.
Your brain is designed, the amygdala just went, wow, she's threatening me. And in that moment, guess what happens to your ability to use the front part of your brain?
Oh, it just.
Yeah, what happens to your ability to go find the words that you want to say?
Okay. Yeah.
What happens to your vision?
Yeah.
You're busy either looking at me and waiting to see what comes next, or you want to look away because you don't want to cause any more conflict. And so you're trying to, but when you do that, I react to you.
Right.
And so it's just this back and forth teeter-totter. What do you think is healthy? Teeter-tottering or balancing?
Balance.
So the more that somebody jumps at you, the more you're going to be in heightened state of alert, but that means your amygdala is more in charge than your thinking brain is.
Mm-hmm.
So this gets a little tricky. So when I jump at someone, so let's say, my person does something. So Christine, I'm going to now have dementia.
Okay.
Okay. And you had this on your keychain.
Yep.
And I found it.
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
So Teepa,
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't squeeze that out. Oh, no, Teepa, do not put that in your mouth. That's poison. Bad. Here, please give that to me. You shouldn't be doing that. Teepa, please stop. That is just really gross. Stop.
This doesn't taste good.
It doesn't, because it's hand sanitizer.
No, it's water.
No, here, I'll go get you some water. How about that? Let me get you some water. Here's some water. Can I have
Water?
Can we switch?
Why did you do that?
I didn't. You like. Should I be the good, the right caregiver or the wrong? I'm going with the wrong. I didn't do it. You took it from me.
In that moment, there is no right or wrong. It's just whatever happened to your brain in that moment. Because when I surprise people with stuff that I do, and I do these things what did your amygdala say about this?
I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? That's to stop.
Yeah, so your brain is doing that automatic safety thing because your amygdala went threat. And so when it does that, your job as a carer is to take care of me. And because we were on Zoom, you didn't reach your hand out.
Right, and grab it.
And grab at it. And then we have
and knock me over.
Okay, now here's the thing though, Christine. If that happened and you filled out the report, how would you document it?
Well,
I'll be honest. How do you think it gets documented? You guys out there know how this gets documented. Guess what happens?
Teepa hit me.
Well,
Teepa
it starts
got
with Teepa got the hand sanitizer out of my belongings.
Yeah, and then hit me.
And then she hit me. But you skip all the parts about you had your things out where I could see them.
Right.
Because you were running late and you put things down and you were trying to help me do something. But what part of the brain was still lit up? Look, Maybe you don't remember. Let's see what part was still lit up, even when you're just lying in the machine. Look at the back of the brain
Mm-hmm.
down here. What's bright red?
Oh yeah, very red.
Vision. Vision. And what else is bright red? We're hearing and we're listening. And you know, right here we're thinking. This is just at rest. But guess what happens when you turn on?
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh.
now
So
over here.
normally, so I guess this is where my confusion is. So normally it shouldn't all be red and lit up. Is that what you're saying?
No, it should all be red and lit up, except what do you notice about how big and bold this amygdala is
Yeah.
versus this, the thinking part is bright red. The auditory processing and sending out auditory information is bright red. The movement is still somewhat limited. I mean, it's turned on. They're using their fingers to count because what they've been asked to do is name as many animals as you can while you're lying there.
Mm-hmm.
And the vision center is bright because it's envisioning animals. And the memory centers are hot and the blood pressure's up, the blood sugar's rolling. But what do you notice about this survival brain here? Threat feeler.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it's on, but it's not
but
outrageous.
it's not like it's yeah.
Yeah. Look over here at early
It's
Alzheimer's.
much bigger.
Wow. It is super compared to the other parts of the brain.
Yeah.
What's one of the reddest parts of the brain?
Yeah, it's really heightened as well as the vision.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Guess what happens with carers when you get stressed out? Now, it's not, you don't enlarge your ventricles, but guess what happens to the chemistry of your brain? It's exactly like early Alzheimer's.
Huh.
It's the same chemical shift that happens. Now, you don't lose structure like people with early Alzheimer's are losing, but chemically we turn into that same feeling threatened, feeling overwhelmed. I can't think of things. I can't remember. It's like I see something and I'm immediately, oh no. And all of a sudden I do something strong
Yep.
and not really thought out. And I'm like, instead of just going, oh, hang on a second, it's no, 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 which is over here. And I don't think through what could happen.
Yep.
Now let's see what happens by late Alzheimer's to the person we're supporting.
So vision is still
present. What happened to my ability to remember things though?
Not there.
There's not there. What happened to my healthy responses and reactions to odd or weird stuff that, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not reacting to things the same. So when I put that hand sanitizer in my mouth even, what did I do a second time that you're thinking, what are you doing?
Right.
So what's the worst brain to care for this brain, do you think? That's right.
That one?
Yeah, because what's hot on both of us?
Yeah, we both have that
primitive brain reaction. Yeah, and yeah, the amygdala, we've got that going. This is this, oops, sorry, that thing. Here's the small child, a healthy child. What do you notice is similar about a healthy 18-month-old child and a person late in dementia?
Wow, so many similarities.
So many similarities. So when do you take care of your children the best?
Oh.
Over here?
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're a stressed out person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is essentially a stressed out person. Now, this person is stressed out being asked to do a task and they're really finding it challenging and they're not liking it because I don't feel as competent as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting defensive and I see this as a threat. So this kid isn't trying to make my life difficult, but because their prefrontal, which is the decision making and keeping track of whether or not that's something you want to do in this situation and being able to sequence and know what's okay to do and what's not, and then controlling impulses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I let my brain slide over here chemically for any reason, is this going to go well for either one of us?
No.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
And so one of the things we have to keep in mind is that humans have needs And the amygdala is designed to help you get your needs met. But when you feel threatened, everything changes. Because when you feel threatened, it's not safe to take things in. It's not safe to put things out. It's not safe to go do things that I usually do. I'm not comfortable. As a matter of fact, this is painful and I want out of this situation as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be honest and talk about what signals of emotional distress did Christina share with me that I really wasn't in that much distress.
You weren't.
No, I was like, what is this? Oh, look, it opens. Oh.
I was, well, obviously.
And even now, when I'm doing it again, what immediately is happening for your brain?
I'm going, there she goes again.
She's not gonna do that again, is she?
All right.
Like, no. How did she find that?
Do
I mean,
it.
it's sort of that automatic reaction on our part of like, no. I'm trying to keep you safe. Don't do that. And we want to yell at the person in some form or fashion because we want it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you, Christine, in the law, and really, truly, do this. Annoying?
Huh? Annoying?
Annoying. Do it down here. Annoying.
Annoying.
Risky.
Risky.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
What is putting hand sanitizer in my mouth in the big scheme of things?
I mean, in the big scheme, annoying. I mean, annoying. Annoying.
Truly. Now, if I drank a quart of it,
I would be right.
That's
I would be like, all right.
and that's
you're gonna
risky, and
throw
I
up.
need to double check. How much can you drink before it becomes a problem?
Right.
But is
No.
there a quart here? I mean, how much is here?
Yeah. No, you're right.
After I got it on my
annoying.
tongue, was I going, oh, exciting, I want more?
Yeah. No. Doesn't taste good, does it?
But it's sort of like, what do I do with it? What don't I realize I could do with it?
You don't know you can put it on your hands. And
Oh, what did you just do?
so we put a drop on your hand.
No,
Just
you're
a
using
drop?
words now. You just do what you did. Don't say anything. Oh, Teepa.
Teepa.
Yeah. Like that?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's, yeah.
Nice and clean.
Yeah. So this one?
No. Not that one today.
Yeah.
No. How about, can I try that one?
Oh, you wanted to?
Uh-huh. Can I try that one?
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so now what happened differently, Christina, this time?
I took a breath. I took a breath and go, okay, that strategy is not working. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Or no, it's not gonna work.
Well, because what brain state are you in? Let's look at brain states, because this is the part we have to acknowledge. When we allow our brain to slip and to actually go into a state where we aren't being sapphire, we are not being that flexible, true blue brain to support living, and instead we're worried about survival. We are upset. Our emotions are getting the best of us. We have an unmet need. I need you to be safe, and you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I need you to be safe, and you're not doing it. I need you to be safe. Okay, so I just gave you several different emotional patterns. Let's see which one, So angry. You make me angry because I'm trying to keep you safe and you're not. You make me sad and hopeless. Oh my God, my mother or my person or this person is trying to eat hand sanitizer. She's a university professor. I mean, I turn my back for 1 minute. I feel like I'm trapped. I don't know what to do. I'm here by myself with her and nothing I do seems to be okay. I'm scared or I feel useless. Now, as a carer, if I feel those kind of emotions, even the minor ones, it impacts my brain function.
Yeah.
But I will also say, if I'm not careful about making sure I'm in good shape, like as Christine said, I quit breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting enough hydration. I'm not eating well. I didn't get the chemicals and minerals I need in my diet because I'm running around like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and I don't take care of myself. Did I get enough sleep? Am I using my physical body enough so that I'm not like sore or too much? Have I given myself a chance to output? Have I been to the bathroom? Am I
Right.
constipated? I mean, am I feeling really sad about something else in my life? Have I got saliva like because, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Or am I feeling uncomfortable or that I'm in like a really risky situation? I don't like the sensations I'm getting or the social of what's happening. Teepa's being really mean. I don't want to be here with her. She makes me uncomfortable. She comes at me. I don't have a place to put my stuff that feels like I have it so that I can get to it, but that Teepa's not going to get into it. And then it could be that I could be in pain already. Maybe she's reminding me of other situations. Maybe she's reminding me of the last time, or maybe she's actually reminding me of my own mother. You know, there's all kinds of possibilities here, or a friend, or a relationship. So when we talk about gem states for brain change, sapphire is true blue. Now, the older I get a little slower. So Christina, you are not as quick as you used to be.
Mm-mm.
Me
I
either.
know. Takes
Yeah.
me, I have to write down everything, Teepa.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, what ends up happening for you?
I forget what I was supposed to go and do, or I forgot what I was supposed to buy.
And what happens when you discover that?
I just feel I get upset with myself. I get angry. I get scared because I think, oh my gosh, is this really happening to me? What's happening to my brain? It's it bums me out.
And so how often do you forget to do something like that versus you make it part of your habit and routine?
So what I do now, I have all my strategies all set up, either on my calendar, my phone is a big one of those strategies. My to-do notebook that I write down every day so that I make sure that I remember everything.
So what Christina is describing for herself when it comes to memories, because she has so many things going on, she really can't do that flexibly anymore. She is finding she's a little rigid and inflexible. And if things don't go the way she expected them to go, she will cut herself. Now, we tend to think about diamonds being hard and sharp and they can cut. We tend to think about them cutting others, but we can cut ourselves, like we cut ourselves off from resources and we'll say, I can't believe I did that. Oh, what is wrong with me? And it's like, well, you're getting older and it's harder to be able to keep up with as many things as you're trying to keep up with. So how many things do you try to keep up with, Christine?
Oh, if you saw my calendar, you would say a lot.
A lot. Yeah, and so sometimes you really shine. I mean, it works great when you use the strategies that you know are effective for you. But if you don't allow yourself to use those strategies, or you forget to use those strategies because you do have that episode of like, oh shoot, I forgot to make a list today. Then all of a sudden you'll find, now I'm having trouble. And one of the things you might get good at in that moment is you might misplace things. Like you can't think, where did I lay that? I know I had it. What happened to it?
Well, it's having to put everything back in the same spot. And you happen to put it in a different spot thinking, oh, you're going to remember where you put it, but then you don't remember where you put it. So you go looking for it and you go to the exact same spot and it's not there.
Yeah. And so what you might say, if somebody else is going around the same space you are without thinking, what might you say?
Oh, did somebody take it? Somebody must have taken this.
I had my purse right here, and it's
It's
like,
right here. Who took that? Did somebody move that? I'm not sure.
who did that earlier in the webinar?
Me?
I think both of us did.
I think we both did, yeah.
I mean, and that's one of the things that we are less willing to do when we talk about dementia is own it, that both of us have these kind of little brain episodes. And one of us is having it because my brain is actually literally dying and changing, but the other one can have it because in that moment, the chemistry, it just went off the charts in a wrong direction because it surprised you, it surprised me.
Mhm.
And so all of a sudden, we're both reacting to one another. And you're in diamond state, and so am I.
Yep.
So how well is that going to work for us?
Not good at all. So that's
So of
kind
the
of,
two of us,
we really fluctuate between those two states a lot, just depending on how we're doing. So when we're actually caring or trying to try to support a diamond, that's when, and we are feeling that diamond state at the same time because we're frustrated, we're not happy with the way things are doing, you're not remembering everything you're supposed to remember. You know, you put the medication out exactly
I
the way
told you guys. Now,
wrong.
Christina, I want to talk to you about something because I asked you to only bring people in who are comfortable working with my mother. And this one person you have coming in is not comfortable with my mother. I was here today, and I've got to tell you, this did not go well. I was trying to help my mom get her shirt on before I left. And what I've got to say is that person came in and, she said, Teepa, Teepa, Teepa. And I'm just going to tell you, something like that's not going to fly with my mother.
Teepa, I'm very sorry to hear this. I'm very
Well,
sorry.
yes,
I
you should
apologize.
be, because I mean, you're the one that arranges for people to
You're
come.
right. You are right. I definitely messed up, and I should have had.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you need to do better at who you bring in here because she comes in and she immediately starts with, oh, Teepa, oh, Teepa. So who does she think she is?
I know. I need to talk to her. It's just completely wrong. I agree. I'm going to do something about
You
that.
don't need to come in here and tell me what to do with my mother. I know how to help my mother.
I know. Gosh, you're absolutely
And I'm
right.
late. I mean, and the whole thing was I was late to start with, so I just canceled the first meeting.
Yeah. That must be, you must be, I can tell you're very frustrated. I'm trying my diamond strategies here.
And you're doing great. The problem is, where did it come from this time? Is it the person that we're caring for?
No, it's the primary, it's the caregiver's mother, our daughter.
Yes, the caregiver's daughter who really was
My
trying to be
daughter.
helpful, but what happened for her when it was started to run late and she couldn't get her mom to do what she usually can get her mom to do, and she knows the new helper is coming and she's trying to get it all to happen. And then who else had a diamond moment?
Yeah. Well, and I could have had a diamond moment because I could have been, you complain constantly to us. You're
This is the
constantly
fourth
wanting to
carer.
talk about your
Teepa, it would really help if you could quit yelling at your mother. I mean, you may want to say that to me because in that moment I am. But the other person who actually went diamond as well was the new carer, because she walked in on this scene and she's thinking, oh my heavens, Teepa, it's okay. I'll get her. I mean, I'll work with her. It's okay. It's okay. But what we have is this layering and this triggering. And who's the problem here? Not Teepa.
No, Teepa's fine.
Teepa's the bottom of the heap. I mean, it's just like
the daughter and probably
and
the
then
person at the
Christina's trying to
office
figure this out
scheduler.
long distance. I mean, she's doing it long distance, which is always more challenging when two people are in physical proximity. Actually, three. So when our brain states change like that, Christina really had to backpedal and she had to think fast and she had to be willing to say, wow. So you were really frustrated with the person who came in and called your name, Teepa, Teepa, Teepa. And what Christine found herself doing is apologizing, not doing a call and respond a little bit, to use the words I was giving her to get me to let go of those words, because once she says them back, it's like, well, now they're shared words. And I'm more able typically to let go of them because she gets them. But she was apologizing. I didn't care about her apology. I was really ticked off that this woman had used my name 3 times in a row. Like, I don't know how to take care of my mother. So she treated you like you didn't know how to take care of your mom. That's absolutely. And she called your name a lot, and that was not helpful. So as Christina said, being able to stay with me. And it is so hard to do when people have that high emotion. And it's
I
not
feel
just
like, are you gonna,
dementia.
I know, because I feel like what has to happen is that you have to, it's almost like you are still heightened because this is happening to you, but you've got to find a new strategy to kind of bring yourself down to be able to cope with it. Because if
You
not, they're going to feel the energy,
for them.
right? Don't they
Yeah.
feel that energy?
Yeah. I mean, if you allow yourself to like escalate up, the two of you are up here like this. I want to bring myself down and then reach up to the person to allow them to come down, but I have to do the reach, but from a solid base. Because if I'm up there with them, then we just both keep going up, because
Yep.
then you're actually arguing, because I'm not listening to much of what you're saying when I'm in that moment.
Yeah.
And this is that really tricky part about caring and how quickly our brains can shift. So when I was doing the hand sanitizer, I'm going to go back to the gem states because I'm going to point something out that most people don't realize. Okay, let me go to the gem states. In fact, Christina quickly went from, oh, I'm okay, to, oh, jeez, no, 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 to, oh, what do I do? What am I going to do? To, in that moment, oh, no, 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 oh, no, 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 no. And she got big and strong. So she went from sapphire to diamond to emerald to amber, and finally ended up more in a ruby state there before we called time. Because her brain was, oh, don't do that. And we said if she had been physically present with me, what might she try to do?
Oh,
So
yeah, you'd have hit me.
Because here's the thing. So what gem state am I in at base? I mean, when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm curious about stuff.
Right. So I want to give
What
you
gem
things
state?
you can fidget. Give
Yeah.
you fidget stuff. No, no, no.
You see me do something because what did I just demonstrate? Do I have any caution, alertness?
None.
No. Am I caught in a moment?
Yes. It's about
Okay, now here's the tricky part. Who also get caught in that same moment?
total.
Total.
Threw me off
How
guard.
many of you were aware, Christine, were you aware that if you grab my wrist, I would probably deck you?
No, not at that moment. And if I
Because
go
why
back,
were you trying to grab my wrist? You grabbed it. So actually, you lost fine motor skill and your comprehension, and you were like, no, 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 no. How about balance and coordination?
mhm.
I mean,
No,
were you
totally.
moving and not thinking?
No, yes.
How much aware of the whole situation were you? Limited visually?
You're not.
No.
No, you're caught in that spot and you just don't know what to do. And you're right, it just escalates. Be
Yeah.
great if like a color came up, and reminded me where you are in your state so you can bring yourself back down to blue.
Yeah. So because what's happening is in that moment, you were super egocentric. I mean, it's all about, I've got to stop her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to get in control of this because this isn't okay. So you invaded my space. You got, it's like, no, no, don't do that. And without thinking, you put yourself at incredibly high risk of me doing something back. Because if I was Amber and you attack me, what gem state do you think I'm probably going to go toward?
Oh, quick, yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be fast. And the two of us will be in this struggle. And this is where one or most of us could fall, one or both of us could hurt each other. And we had no intent in doing that. That wasn't what this was about. I wasn't even interacting with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't really interacting with me, but I surprised you. So what if now?
Mm.
Now notice, okay, so Christina, you're with me for 12 hours.
Oh, that's a lot. So, Teepa.
So how many of you think this will wear on you as the day goes on?
And I think it's different with different people, but it wears. right? You've got to give yourself that break, some respite, and also to be aware you may not be the right person.
You may not be a good match for me because my energy level, my go, my continue, my time of day when I get super active is not your time of day to be super active. And so I will wear you out very rapidly. So if I'm somebody who loves to be, I'm curious about everything. Just doing something like that, your brain is like, doing? Where did she find those?
Because finding all these great things.
I will surprise you with where things, like people hide things, and I'm so good at finding them. And your brain is just like, no, I need to.
Oh.
There you go. Now Christina's getting, so she's thinking, what can I do? What can I offer her?
Teepa, look.
Oh, good. I can cut those up.
Yeah, but we could switch.
No, Possession with an amber is 99% of the law. So once I get them on and I'm doing this, what have I figured out?
That's good.
That's good. I figured out snip.
Yep, snip.
Snip. So you got to find something real quick. And your brain is not working really well because your brain is going, I don't want you cutting that.
I'm very limited. Oh,
yeah, let me get him. And so if you hand it to me, what's the risk?
Well, you're going to cut it.
Yeah. And so that's where having duplicates around. So now what happens, you want to be thinking, okay, happens to me once, I hear you. But if it's a pattern that I'm developing, who has to develop the alternate pattern to be supportive?
Yeah.
Because yeah, one time I'm going to surprise you and your brain's going to go.
Right.
And you're going to have that moment. What we don't want to do is strip my environment, because guess what somebody like me will do if you strip the environment?
You're going to find more things. Or find
other stuff, because I am not a person who's comfortable with still. So what does that say about helpers?
Props and things around that you can touch and sort and
do things with, and how much rest are you going to get when you're with me?
Right, not a lot.
Yeah, so do you want to come in from another shift and work with me?
No.
If you're the person doing assignments, if you're the person doing assignments of a carer, what do you need to be thinking then?
Then if you are like scheduling, or you need to kind of think about.
And you're running, and you know, the person who usually works with Teepa called off.
Right.
What happened to your amygdala right away when you heard the person working with Teepa called off?
Right, you got to prepare your next person to go in there, what they're going to be seeing.
Yeah. But what's your first emotional reaction to she called off?
Yeah, well, the first one's like, yikes.
No, Teepa's one of the hard ones to find somebody for.
Hard. Nobody wants her. Nobody likes working with her. She's exhausting.
Because it's exhausting. And so at some point we might want to go, you know, I wonder whether the length of the shift of working with Teepa is too much, because we have more carers who call off. And so being able to even back up on this and get super flexible about your thinking, it's like, okay, this is the fourth time this has happened. Are we to a place where we're saying we can't provide the support, or are we in a place where we want to look at who and how long can support Teepa? Because she is high energy.
Think about shorter shifts versus the longer shifts. That's always something to think about. And then also preparing. So making sure that we've got enough resources and materials and fidgets and things, you know, and activity for them to do, because you don't want them to sit around.
If I like doing this and I'm enjoying doing this, I hope you have a lot of strips of paper.
Yeah.
Because I can't actually cut across a sheet of paper. I can't do that many snips in a row. This is snip, 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 snip. You might even try yarn. What if you do yarn? What if you do strip? You know, like all kinds of things I could snip. Is this a bad thing for me to work on?
No, I mean, as long as you're not hurting yourself, if it's, you know,
Yeah, what's really cool about it, those are the same three fingers I'll use to use a fork or to manage a toothbrush. I mean, what's really cool is I'm actually using the skill in my hands without causing harm. But we have to get our brains, whoa, backed up and ready for this and not see these as dangerous. I mean, they give these to kindergartners. I mean,
Yeah, they can.
they're blunt. I mean, they're, yeah, you can manage to cut stuff with it, but if you give me something to cut and it's right in this range and it's interesting and it makes an interesting feel or sound. I mean, I like tearing strips of paper and then we can dip it in something and then who knows what'll happen next. But this idea that what happens for Christina's brain is actually more important than what happens for my brain. So we're going to pause here, because we could go more and more, but I want to make sure that if we have some questions that people want to ask, we get a chance. And I'm also happy to put up any of the other gem states. So yeah, so, when is my mother going to be here? Do you know? I'm curious.
When is your mother going to be here?
Yeah.
When is your mother?
Yeah, my mom, because I thought she was coming already and she's not here yet.
I just spoke with her and she's going to be here in a little bit.
A little bit?
A little
About
bit.
how long do you think?
I think in about, I don't know, like 15 or 20 minutes.
15 or 20 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna be by the door, so when she comes here, I'll be ready to go with her.
And that's a great idea. I think but
All
what
right.
I would like, why don't we first, Teepa, why don't we first, I love that idea, but why don't we first go and get all the things that we did, like we made today, so that we can show that when she gets back.
What time is my mom gonna come for me, do you think?
Oh, in a little bit.
About how long do you think?
Oh, in about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, 15 or 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna go wait by the door then. So what, so
Over and over.
So Christina's trying to manage two things. She's looking at the chat to see what kind of questions you have. Well, I'm asking a question. So when you try to divide your attention like that, like you're trying to fix my lunch while I'm asking questions, this is where you're actually trying to do two different tasks at the same time. And what starts to happen is your brain actually can't multitask like that. So we've got to decide, oh, hey, Teepa, I can use your help. Here, tell you what, put this plate on the table if you would. So you're wondering what time your mom's going to come. Well, I'll tell you what, whatever time she gets here, why don't we have something to eat? Because she's probably going to be hungry. Tell you what, okay, yep, put that right here. Excellent. Now, what do you think about the sandwich I'm making? Grilled cheese. Should I flip it? Should I wait? Let's count to 10. Because what we'll want to do is engage Teepa with us in whatever task we're doing. We've got to figure out how to bring her into the task. Because if you try to do two different tasks, manage Teepa, manage the lunch, what's going to end up is you're juggling and your brain starts to fritz. Because I'm in emerald state. Guess what you'll be?
Emerald. I'll be coming on to.
And then you'll go to Amber. It's like, Teepa, give me a minute. Can you just wait a second? I need you to just hang on. Let me turn off Teepa. No, don't go out the door. Hang on. Just give me a second. Let me turn off the stove. Oh my God. Now what? Now what do I do? Because the stove's on. She's going out the door.
Yeah. So it's nice to say, if you can help me out with something, can you, help me do something, give them a task to do.
Yeah, I could really use your help. You know what? Can you grab me a glass of water real quick? I know you want to know about your mom. I could use water. Cups are up here. Excellent. Yeah. And realizing I need to keep you engaged with me in the same kind of area. And then I've got to pause. I've got to get things to a pause point, because what you're telling me is you're not getting your needs met.
Right.
And it could be that you're hungry, but me fixing a grilled cheese right now, probably not the best idea, because this is when I'm in an emerald state and I'm becoming distressed. What will happen to you as my carer if you're not careful?
You definitely become more stressed out about the whole thing.
You'll
And,
join me, and we'll both be.
right. And then we got two people who are completely stressed out.
Yeah. And
Right?
what happens if my mother, because I'm living with Down syndrome and I also then have dementia on top of my Down, and my mom is gone, she will be back. Christina wasn't even lying. It was all true. In about 15, 20 minutes, my mom will be there. Do you want my mom walking in as we're having burnt, the fire alarm's going off, the smoke alarm is going off, you're trying to find me, I'm out the door, and so she comes, the door's open, you guys, we're both gone.
Yeah.
How's that gonna fly?
It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
want to
so-
bring up one question that came up and several times people were asking about, and this brought up some emails that people sent to us as well. Is that when people are forgetting aspects of their life or wanting an aspect of their life that is no longer currently in their life right now, what kind of strategies would you use for that?
Yeah, so what we're talking about is that's someone who is in an emerald state. So let's go and let's look at the emerald state very quickly so that we can take a peek at it. Okay, so whoops, oh dear, not that, don't do that. Here we go. So what I have is I have flaws. And so time traveling is very common at that point. Now, what I want to know, is the person more of a doer or a talker, a supervisor? Are they more of somebody who likes to talk about things or do things? Or are they truly just a watcher? They'll typically be able to do more of what they see, and they will not be able to handle what they can't see. And so they'll want to go find things if they can't see them. They may want to be in control, but they'll have trouble doing it well, and they'll do things over and over. So the asking over and over. So let's say, Christina, you're going to do something that indicates you're in that state where you're missing somebody and you want them. Okay, so go ahead and give me one of those lay-ins.
I really miss my dad. My dad's supposed to be here. He always picks me up at 5, and he's not here right now. And I really see
Christina,
him.
you're expecting your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, so he's usually here about 5.
Yeah, he comes. He comes here at 5, and he always picks me up. And then we go home and he shows where I need to do my homework.
Oh, so then you get he brings you home and you get your homework done.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So
Aquarius.
it's about time for you to get out of here with your dad and do your homework. Oh, hey, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of homework do you have for tonight, do you think? Is it math or science or reading?
I think it's reading.
Reading. Oh, what are you reading? Something good, like a book, or do you have to write a story?
I have to read, and then I have to write about it.
Oh, you have to read and write about it. You know what? I have a book. Let's practice for a minute till things change. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This photo has a picture of a dog. And the dog is really interested in something. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what the dog is interested in. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Is that a butterfly?
That is a butterfly. So now we have to come up with a story about this butterfly, and you're going to write it down. So I'm going to take notes. Now, what happened about Dad right now?
Yep. So is that called distraction?
No, it's not actually a distraction, because what I did is, when you gave me info, like you said, my dad is usually here, and then he takes me home. And it was like, oh, so you're looking for your dad. You're really expecting him here at 5, and you then leave and you go. And then you said, I've got to get my homework done. It's like, aha, okay, clues. I'm getting cues and clues about what her unmet need is. Her unmet need is she needs something to do that gives her a sense of value and purpose. She needs guidance. Why does she want dad? Dad's a guidance. So can I substitute? So it's not a distraction, it's a substitution. So I'm becoming dad for a little bit. Now, what I didn't do is change place, but I might say, Christina, you know what? Let's go to the kitchen table, because I got to fix something. because
Right.
maybe that's what will help.
Yeah. So it's
So what do
really
you think?
thinking outside of the box, right? And so the wrong answer would be, well, he's not here and he's dead,
Yeah,
or
yeah, exactly. Or yeah, he'll be here in just a few minutes. Because I never said he was or he wasn't. I just said till he gets here.
until he gets here.
Now I can know that he's never coming. You could think, well, that just means he's not here right now. And because you are living in this cycle, and you really just need something to do that's guided, because that's really the bottom line is you don't know what to do with yourself right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't know is, do we need to leave this place? Is part of it that this place, you're tired of it and you need to go see something else? And what I will frequently do is go for a walk, go outside, go to a different space for a little bit and then come back. And
Yeah.
sometimes for some people that I work with, that's really all they needed was they needed to be guided to a different place, engaged out there for a few minutes, and then they'll come on back. It's just like they just didn't know how to do that.
Right. No, that's a
Yeah.
good idea. I like it. We are at time up.
Yeah. Well, I hope folks out there who were listening in and participating and whatever, I hope that it was helpful to you. If you have specific questions, if you have some more details that you want to scope out, let us know, because we do the webinars to try to help you do what you do better. Our goal is help brains be healthy, be wise, be well, and stay sapphire so you can support the people who can.
That's great. Thank you, Teepa. This was really wonderful. For those listeners, we do have a recorded version and we'll be getting information out to you so that you can listen to it again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very
Take care.
much.
Thanks, Christina.
Bye.
Bye, all.